Welcome and thank you for joining the Organic Grain Markets Harvest 2021 webinar. My name is Marla Carlson. I'm Executive Director at Sask Organics and will be moderating today's session. Today I'm speaking to you from Regina, Saskatchewan, situated on Treaty 4 lands. These are the territories of the Nihiawak, the Inishiapik, the Dakota, Lakota, Nakota, and homeland of the Métis Chief Nations. And before we get into the webinar itself, I'm going to just go through a few housekeeping rules to help you get the best out of this session. So if you could close down any unnecessary programs that might be running in the background, this will really help with your audio quality. Attendees who are in listen-only mode, attendees are in listen-only mode. However, you can ask questions by clicking on the questions box on the right-hand side of your screen. And if you are joining by phone, you have been prompted to enter a PIN number. If you didn't enter the PIN, just ensure that your phone is muted at all times. There will be time to answer a couple of questions from the audience after each presentation. But we're doing our best to keep to the allotted time because we have 14 companies today, which is fantastic. And we'll be here for a couple of hours. So we're just going to try and keep to time as best we can and answer as many questions as best we can. And then after the webinar itself, you will receive a link to the recording within about 24 hours. We'll also include all of the handouts that have been provided by some of our sponsors. And finally, with all, many of us have been on many of these things, and at times there can be some technical glitches, so please bear with us and we'll try to sort them out as best we can. And of course, a big thank you to our gold sponsors. We can't really do anything that we do, especially with our education program, without your support. So I'm just going to thank you all, Grain Millers, Sunrise Foods International, Avina Foods, XPT Grain, Manitoba Harvest, FW Cobs, Prairie Heritage Seeds, Richardson's International, O&T Farms, Mgm Seed and Grain, and to our silver sponsors, Scoular and Mumm Sprouting Seeds, and to our bronze sponsors, GSL and Growers International. And as I said, we have a jam-packed session, so I am going to get us going and hand over to Dwayne Lee from Growers International. So welcome, Dwayne. The floor is yours.
Great, thank you, Marla. Well, good morning, everyone. Just a quick note about growers. I mean, we're a division of Patterson Global Foods. We've been buying and selling organic greens for over 35 years in Western Canada. We have elevator facilities in Lang, Herbert, and Indian Head. And we do on-farm and pickup or delivered pricing. So just kind of running down the list of talking points here. In terms of expectations or predictions in markets in 2022, difficult one to I guess to see where things are going. Of course, lots of volatility. Prices have come up a long ways already. Initially led by conventional pricing, but more recently influenced by limited producer selling. But we are getting to levels where availability and pricing are at levels that I guess we see end users looking at substitutes and the ingredient list widening specs versus what they would normally do. And at the same time, we're also starting to see some commodities starting to move from the growers as well. So feels like we probably chop around for a bit, but who knows? It really has to do with the pace of supply coming to market versus the demand that's needed. So every day is a different day. In terms of the crop quality and what we're seeing, as we get more and more samples in, I would say generally it feels like the wheat crop's been pretty decent, mostly ones and twos. Some of the twos we are seeing some lower falling numbers below 300. So, but generally higher protein, lighter test weights, And I would urge producers to get their samples in as quickly as possible, even if you're not planning to market right away. Knowing what you've got is important for everybody contracting grain. So the sooner you can get some samples in and have your relevant parties take a look at it, I think you're better off. In terms of current crop needs, I guess we're always looking at wheat, durum, malting, barley, peas, flax, feed grains. And our current price indications right now for wheat are $21.50 delivered for a 12.5 Pro spring wheat. We've got some malt barley pricing, $15 for Copeland malt barley, and also looking for peas, around that $22 delivered for peas, and mostly got a little bit of room for November deliveries, but mostly December forward at this point. So if you've got interest, give us a call. And with that, Marla, I'd probably open it up to questions.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thanks, Dwayne. And my first question: your pea price is up for yellow or green peas?
Sorry, yellows.
Yellow peas. Okay, no, great. And do you have any feed prices, or is everybody just trying to figure out the food side first?
Trying to figure out the food side mostly. I guess if you've got feed grains, give us a call and we'll see what we can do for you.
Okay, no, that's great. And I'm just checking to see if we have any questions. And often what happens is the first couple presenters, there are very few questions and the audience tends to warm up a little bit. So I actually don't have any questions coming in right now. So I think, oh, hang on, just as I said that, I prompted a question. Oh, are you buying flax, and what is your price? And how about gold and brown as well?
Yeah, we do buy flax. Right now, I guess I'd say we're looking for offers.
Okay. So, okay, that I'm interested. So are we talking north of $40 a bushel? Or are you just gonna leave it at we're looking for offers?
I would say we're looking for offers.
Okay, sorry to put you on the spot. As I do a bit of a price survey, so I kind of know where the prices were at. So and they were already on their way up. So well, if you have flax in the bin, that sounds like it's a good thing. All right, and I guess the tricky thing with flax is quality, right? And there's so many different specs. Sometimes I know for some buyers it's actually part of their thing is around taste. So it's really hard. It's really hard to know. So I guess that kind of supports your get your samples in.
Yeah.
As well, so that you can get an accurate price. Okay, now the questions are really coming in. So what do you think what's your sort of, looking into your crystal ball, your prediction for, I guess, hard red going forward? Do you see that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it really just depends on a couple of things. I mean, we've gotten to a spot now where for the longest time it was difficult to get any sort of wheat bought. Prices went up. Farmers in the field didn't know what they had, et cetera, and high prices. As high prices get higher, I mean, the markets look for other solutions, right? So you've got to this point now where you've got more grain coming into the system. You've got end users looking at other grains because wheat's expensive, where they can. Obviously, flour millers can't do that, but they can change what they're grinding as well, right? So it's not just a spring wheat miller doesn't just have to use spring wheat; he can use other kinds of wheat as well. So, the old adage, high prices cure high prices, low prices cure low prices. I mean, it's true today. So I know it's kind of not being very specific, but it feels to me like we're at a spot now where there's some wheat moving, there's some buyers substituting, there's some, I kind of feel like we maybe just chop around here a little bit, but it really still, it is about a relative pace question about how much grain do we see coming to the market, you know, and how much do the buyers need to buy, you know, in short order. And so that changes, it seems, every day. So
okay, no, that's you know, that's fair. And you know, again, from the price survey that I've been doing, I mean, we're up on hard red spring about you know, at the lowest price that I had heard, sort of January, we're up at least $10 from there, so a bushel.
yeah.
But like you said, there's so many factors involved in, you know, determining the price. So yeah, well, thank you for that. And I have already sort of lost track of time, but what I'm going to do is maybe ask one more question. This is specific about your company, so I'll ask this. And so, what organic grains do you receive to your Indian Head elevator?
We're working on a wheat program right now for the time being, and we have in the past done peas through there as well. So wheat and peas are probably what we'll run with at Indian Head.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a dual purpose facility, so we do run a lot of conventional grains through there this year, and so space is at times limited. So.
Okay, yeah, no, that's perfect. Thank you. And I will ask this one question, and I'll probably ask it to all of the buyers, because you know, obviously, you know, our farmers in Saskatchewan or on the prairies aren't the only farmers growing organic cereals and other crops. And you know, there always is a bit of concern about you know, crops coming in offshore, right, to meet demand. And you know, just wondering if you're, you know, where that's kind of fitting into the picture. You know, and maybe it's a little bit of a, you know, an analysis of how crops, you know, organic crops around the world. No, you know, and I don't want to put just you on the spot. I will ask, you know, because you'll all have your own perspectives on this. But I think it's always a good perspective to know how we're sort of, you know, in terms of quality and yields and price, how we're all fitting into that world market as well.
Yeah, well, I think at this point, I mean, we are, you know, I think everyone's sort of looking for different alternatives, you know, where they can. And so you've got a lot of interesting global dynamics with ocean freight and container markets, supply chain disruptions. You know, so I think lots of the offshore stuff still has yet to be resolved, and where it fits and when it can fit. But, you know, I think everyone's absolutely looking at it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, no, I appreciate that, and for some reason it had completely, I completely hadn't made the connection between all the stuff I've been reading on supply chains and how that's going to affect, you know, sort of imports of grains into North America. So clearly that will. Okay. So now I'm pretty sure I have used up all of your 5 minutes, Dwayne, and probably more. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here today. And we do have some additional questions that have come in, and you know, maybe, you know, if there's some specific to growers, Deb will probably shoot those off to you after the webinar, and if we could just, you know, then we can answer the questions for the folks. So thank you again for being here. Yeah, and we'll move on to our next presenter, who is Clarence Schwalik from Manitoba Harvest. Welcome, Clarence.
Good morning. Thank you, Marla, and appreciate the opportunity. So Clarence Schwalik is my name. I'm the Director of Farm Operations for Manitoba Harvest, Fresh Hemp Foods, and we're in the hemp business. So we contract hemp food production across the prairies and a little beyond, but mostly from the Canadian prairies. We have two facilities, one in St. Agathe, Manitoba, that's about 15 minutes south of Winnipeg, and we do have another one in the city of Winnipeg. Our St. Agathe facility does most of our organic production. We'll do dehulling, we'll crush for oil and protein. And really that's what's driving our markets. It's the healthy oils, the plant-based proteins, and healthy food products. And that just fits right in the conversation with organic. So our organic markets are very strong, and they continue to be. We're currently producing at about 75% of our total production as being organic. And that is a big significant difference from where we were just a few years ago. So organic is driving our production. We're continually looking for more acres, and that's what's going to drive our contracts here for 2022. So what our market expectations are for the next year is continued growth. We'll be looking for more production acres. We're coming off a year that was fairly dry and yields were suppressed a little bit, although hemp in some of our contract regions did fare quite well with the deep taproot. So in some cases, it did respond very well to the dry conditions that we had. What we're seeing for quality coming off the field this year is excellent. It's been a wide open fall, very little rain. Crops are coming off dry and in very good quality. So it meets the needs for what we have for dehulling and for that high quality food market that we participate in. As far as our contracts for this upcoming year, we are just in the process of finalizing some of our contract language. We don't have the official contracts available today. We hope to have those available in, I would say, early to mid-November. But our current crop needs for organic are going to continue to grow. Like I said, it's been growing significantly, and it'll continue to drive most of what we process for the next year and years to come. Our current price, and I'll say this a little bit quietly because, you know, just like we had in the previous conversation, markets are changing significantly, but our introductory price here is at $1.85 per pound cleaned. It's a significant increase from last year just because of where the markets are at. But I'm thinking, depending on where markets go over the next few months between now and actually putting seed in the ground, we may need to be flexible on that price. So I think I can comfortably say that $1.85 is our floor price. And what we did last year when the conventional markets started to increase, you know, right around November, December, is that we maintain some flexibility with our growers. We want to maintain a price that's open and transparent and similar across the board, no matter where we operate. And we ended up taking even our early contract signups and increase those prices retroactively. And we'll do the same this year with organic. So we are taking expressions of interest right now from growers. And one of the benefits that we have is that if you sign up first, that gets you into delivery first. And we're hand to mouth right now, and we have been for several years. And signing up or expressing your interest now would get you in line for essentially off the combine delivery for next fall. Our contracts feature an act of God clause. It's a full production contract. We do offer storage premiums for those growers that maybe need to deliver through the spring, summer, and into early fall of the next year. And we're fine-tuning some of our contract language that's going to be in favor of the grower. Still too early to confirm what that language is, but we are looking at being more flexible and being more responsive to the growers according to what they've been telling us. So contracts or at least expressions of interest are open right now, and you could email us. The email's on the screen, growhemp@manitobaharvest.com, or the phone number that you see on the screen there.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you, Clarence. So if there's, you know, a organic farmer on the line who's never grown hemp before, can you just talk a little bit about, you know, the support that you provide to your hemp growers, I suppose, and then anything else you think that would help them make their decision?
Good question, Marla. And hemp being a specialty crop, you know, there are some nuances to producing it. So we do have 2 agronomists on board, and I consider them our farmer coaches. And we'll work with our growers right from the time of crop rotation planning, field selection, variety selection, all the way through to scouting the crop, providing regular communications through the growing season, and ending up with recommendations on harvest, storage, and dry down to make sure that we get the quality and the farmer gets the optimum yields for the production capabilities they have. So that is the full support that we offer, and that's a big feature of what we do, and that's something that we offer to any of our growers.
Perfect. And how about areas? Like, are there areas that hemp grows better, or, you know, in terms of geography?
Yeah, we generally have been sticking to the black soil zones, and then, you know, hemp is quite versatile. It performs excellent under irrigation. Black soil zones where we have good rich loamy soil. It'll produce well all the way up as far north as High Level in Lacrete, Alberta, and all the way down to southern Manitoba. So it's a very versatile, flexible crop, and we can fine-tune variety selections based on growers' preferences.
For sure. And just my last question. So on the other end of the spectrum, there may be organic farmers on the call who grew hemp in the early days and haven't grown it since. So what can you tell us a little bit about the evolution of, variety development and how things have changed?
Yeah, one of our agronomists has been involved in hemp right from '98 when it was first legalized and our business got started. And those varieties were brought in from Ukraine, Russia, Eastern Europe, and they were tall. What we've done with our breeding programs now is made those varieties much, much shorter, much easier to harvest. Harvestability is one of those main things that we look at for the varieties that we contract with our growers. We do have our own retail line of pedigreed seeds, and we make sure that it's beneficial for the farmer and much easier to harvest than what they were years and years ago.
Perfect. All right. Well, I think we have some questions that have come in here, and I always have to slightly learn the platform every time I do this. So just making sure I'm getting the right questions. What will the cost of planting seed be per pound?
Good question.
For 2022, yeah.
Yep, good question. And it's probably going to be around that $2 to the low $2 per pound mark. We don't have that finalized. Again, it's all being driven on commodity prices. Last year we were at $1.90 for contracted growers and $2 for non-contracted. Because the crop that's the seed that we're going to be selling is still off the lower priced production from this past growing season 21. We're thinking of trying to make it as flexible as we can for the growers to have a decent entry price. So it'll be in that $2 range, somewhere right around that ballpark.
Okay, and then my follow-on question is, how much seed do you need per acre, just to get a sense?
Yep, good question on input costs. We started around 30 pounds per acre, so you're looking at about 60 pounds per acre for crop seed input, and that's regulated by Health Canada. We have to, by law, put in certified seed, so there's no possibility of bin run seed, unfortunately.
All right, no, that's fair. And then our final question is on the consumption end, is hemp gluten-free?
It is gluten-free, and we do operate our facilities as gluten-free. So in our grower coaching, we do talk about wheat in the rotations and how we might be able to avoid cross-contamination with wheat. But hemp itself, yes, it is marketed as a gluten-free product.
Excellent. Okay, well, thank you so much, Clarence. And as you're a great supporter, and we appreciate you being here. And I hope you get some contracts, as I do for all of our buyers who are with us today. So thank you again, and we will move on to our next company. And our next company up is Mumm Sprouting Seeds, and I'd like to welcome Carolyn Crawford. The floor is yours, Carolyn.
Hi, thanks, Marla. Thank you. Can you guys hear me okay?
Sorry, we can hear you.
Yeah,
yes.
You can? Okay,
yeah.
Awesome. All right, sorry about the lack of webcam. That's probably a good thing anyways. I suppose I could have thrown a picture up there, my most recent picture being of me and my grandson. But anyways, my name is Carolyn Crawford, and I'm part of the team here at Mumm Sprouting Seeds, located in Parkside, Saskatchewan, which is about an hour and a half north of Saskatoon. It's just a small hamlet. You wouldn't, and I know it's on the road map, but it's just a little blip. For those who don't know much about our company, we are here at Mumm's the world's largest distributor of organic seeds for sprouting, a family owned and run company that has its roots on the farm here since the 70s and even before, but we've expanded the operation to include a warehouse here in Parkside, which employs roughly 30 people and offers more than 100 types of seed. It's always been the mission here at Mumm's to provide and make available safe, affordable, easy, and nutritious organic food to the world. We ship all over the world, and part of that mission then, of course, is to support the organic sector and producers in whatever capacity we can. I'd like to invite you to check out our website later after this, or when you get a chance. Mumm Sprouting Seeds, if you Google that, or just visit sprouting.com. It's a forum, tells a little bit about the company. It's also our web store. You can see what we sell, what our pricing's like, and stuff like that. So right now, as far as the current market is going, we see the organic sprouting market as being very, very strong without seeing a downturn at all. Sorry, I do have notes here, so just bear with me. We source most of our seed from Saskatchewan, of course, with a little bit of help from our neighbors to the east and west of us. But there are a lot of seeds that can't be grown here in this climate, so we do have to source elsewhere in the world. We do source out of India, Italy, Israel, Peru, Bolivia, and of course the US. But we try to keep it as Canadian and as home to Saskatchewan as we can. The drought conditions have made my job a little bit more challenging. But that being said, we haven't seen a lot of 2021 crop samples yet. But those that we have seen have been actually of very good quality for sprouting. So that's very promising. I know from a couple of other groups that I'm in that there's a lot of producers right now that are disheartened because of the drought and the conventional prices being what they are. But I guess it's important for everybody to bear in mind that pricing is cyclical. And here at Mumm's, we have been able to continually pay a premium over even the organic pricing that we are purchasing, and because we do not want to see a decline in the number of organic producers in this province or anywhere in the world. So right now, what we are looking for actively is brown mustard, marrow fat peas, sunflower. Canadian grown sunflower is not easy to find. Alfalfa, fava beans, hulless barley, hulless oats, soft wheat, small green lentils. This is getting to be quite a list, sorry. Red clover, daikon radish, French green lentils, and of course our perpetual search for 4010 forage peas. That one is our biggest seller. We go through thousands and thousands and thousands of kilograms of that every year. So that is something we're a little bit limited by our warehouse space, but we do have a bin that we use for that, and we're continually bringing in and sending out. So a lot of these crops, so that we have to source from further away, actually can be grown here. It's just not the norm and stuff like that. And if anybody out there is interested in growing these, please give us a call, because we can set you up with some planting seed and give you some advice, and that you know, and to grow on a smaller acre basis. Stuff like arugula and cress and broccoli rab, coriander, fenugreek, or dill. If anybody is interested, please get in touch with us, and we can work with you on that. A little bit more common to the prairies, but seemingly difficult to find, are the hulless barley and hulless oats, marrow fat peas, and brown mustard. And there again, we can help, you know, get you set up with some seed. And if you're interested in trying it, you can try it on a small acre basis. Contracts, we normally just spot buy, but we are seeing that trend towards the contracts, which we can do. And I think when the previous guys was talking about contracts being quite open with a very generous act of God clause, we understand that, you know, if you can't make your contract, or you know, didn't produce enough, you know, that's all right. We're not going to hold you to that contract, make you buy out a contract or anything like that. That's not how we do business. By the same token, if you grow something then we can't use it, you know, it has to nullify the contract as well. But that's all written into our contract, and we do contracts not as a blanket contract, but on a case-by-case, product-by-product, situation-by-situation basis. So I guess in closing here, for the speech part of it, I have sent out a handout to be distributed after the webinar to Sask Organics, and hopefully I believe that gets distributed, and all our contact information is on there. Please feel free to give us a call, shoot an email, if you just want to talk or talk a little bit more about what we do or learn more about what we do, that would be great. So I thank you guys, for everybody who's attending, panelists and producers, to show your support for the organic sector today, and also like to thank Deb and Marla for hosting this and making it possible. And if there's any questions, I will take them now. Thank you.
Right. No, that's great, Carolyn. Do you? I have seen the handout, so I know that we have it, and it does have some prices on it. So do you mind just quickly running through your prices?
Okay. No, the handout wouldn't have had any prices.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm
yeah.
misremembering. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's okay. It's just kind of a, what we're looking for immediately, what we're looking for in the way of contracts and that. But I can speak to some of the pricing right now for peas. We kind of lump our peas. I shouldn't say lump them, but yellow, green, the forage peas, we're at 25 right now, $25 a bushel. I've heard anywhere from 20 to 30 is the going organic pricing. I haven't seen too much on the 30 end, a lot on the 20 end. So we're right in the middle there, and but always open to negotiation. Part of it is when we buy on a cleaned basis, but we pick up. So depending on whereabouts you are, that we kind of figure into our negotiations, because we do pay the trucking. So if you're saving your trucking, we kind of figure that in too. So that's where we are with peas. I think the last wheat I bought, and I haven't bought now because I bought ahead. I want to say I was at about $25 a bushel, $24.50 or $25 a bushel. Mustards and that, which are something which were of course buying by the pound. I believe on the Oriental mustard, which I didn't really touch on, which is quite difficult to find as well. But I was fortunate through this forum last year to make contact with somebody and came across an awesome crop this year, and I believe we're somewhere between $1.25 and $1.27 a pound on Oriental mustard.
Okay.
That's that type of thing. So.
No, that's perfect, and thank you. And that I'm glad the forum is working. So and that you're able to get in touch. Yeah.
Was very, very pleased last year with the number of contacts in that, and people just called and inquired, and yeah, it's a really good place for us. So. Yeah.
Okay, no, excellent. Well, thank you for that. And I do have a few questions, so we'll move to those. So what is do you have a price right now, your spot price for organic alfalfa seed, and what germination does it need to be?
Well, we like to see somewhere around that 95, I believe, on germination. And you know what, I don't have a file in front of me right now with the price on the alfalfa, but once I'm off of here, I will get it, and maybe I'll just throw it into the comments, Marla.
Sure.
The price on the alfalfa.
Okay. No, that's really great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with the brown mustard, what sort of volume are you looking for? How much?
I would, if I could get a hold of 10 metric ton right now, I'd be pretty happy. We're really limited with our space here, and that's kind of the problem there. But if somebody had 10 metric ton that worked for us, we'd buy that very quickly. And of course, if there was excess and they had it in their bin, we would definitely take it when we could, sort of thing. So kind of makes it a two-part purchase, but we work with what we have. So.
Sure. No, that sounds great. Thank you. And how about new crop pricing for mustard?
New crop pricing for mustards, that is on the Oriental, that was a new crop pricing. On our brown, we'd probably be about $1.15 to $1.20. I haven't researched that too closely because I haven't seen any yet. So that being said, I actually do have sitting on my desk right now a sample out of Alberta. So.
Okay, perfect. And how about for your peas? Do you have any price indications for new crop?
New crop right now I am paying the 25 for.
Okay.
Yeah, that again is a picked up price, and
Okay.
a cleaned and picked up, and there we're looking for anywhere from 97 to 100% germ. So because
Okay.
because we sell this for sprouting,
Yeah.
the germ is very important to us. One thing I will note with wheat, and this is a question I always get when guys call in, things like falling number and protein, and those don't affect sprouting, or they don't appear to, I guess, is
Mhm.
what I should say. What we look more with wheat is that it's dry, because we don't want it to throw mold on the seed bed for people. So things like that, like if you're thinking your protein isn't high enough or whatever, that's still something we will test for sure.
Okay. And my final question, what would you expect the average yield to be for Oriental mustard?
That's a good question. That I don't know, and I will find that out.
Okay.
And
No,
yeah,
no,
and
that's
also
perfect.
put that into the comments. Just making some notes here.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll just put one more little plug in before we're done, that I am still
For
looking
sure.
for 4010 forage peas. Again, our top seller, we can't keep enough in here. So if guys are looking, or even for next year are looking to put in, please let me know. We will do some planning with you as well. That's part of what we do. And yeah, I think that's about it.
So
Go
my,
ahead.
my, my last follow-on question, just with the 4010s, what is it about the 4010P? Is it the size or how it sprouts or?
It's how it sprouts. They actually grow it as microgreens. It's a very, very popular item, especially we find going into the US. A lot of our stuff goes into, of course, the health food market. I mean, that's kind of the whole idea behind organic, but also a good part of our business ends up going into restaurants with the chefs and that. So the presentation, of course, and that's a big part of sunflower as well,
Right.
is how it grows, how it presents on that plate. So some high-end restaurants our stuff goes into, and yeah, from the high-end restaurants to the juice bars. So
Yeah,
kind
no,
of,
for sure.
yeah.
And I think
It's
it's a good thing to share and know, because I think, some of the prices, are, and excellent, or on the higher
mm,
end, but it is because the specifications are pretty tight, and it's like directly
yeah,
going into somebody's kitchen to sprout, so or like I said, into a high-end
exactly.
restaurant. So
Yeah.
yeah, and I guess the other thing, one of the questions just is around acres. So someone said, is everything in small acres, or can somebody grow larger acres for 4010? So
Oh,
um,
yeah, for 4010s, yeah, the more we can get, the better. So, yeah, like
okay.
a lot of guys, like when I talk about these small acre crops, like the dill and stuff like that, we don't
Yeah.
use very much, and I'm
Yeah.
not even too sure how it yields. But yeah, the 4010s and that, I've got some guys, that are putting in, between that 200 and 260 acre mark for us. We do go through an
A
awful lot.
lot. Yeah.
So yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's perfect.
So
Thank you so much,
yeah, yeah.
Carolyn, and
Thank you.
thanks for dropping those answers to a few of those questions
Yeah,
into the chat.
I'll get that for you
Yeah.
guys here shortly. So
Okay.
yeah.
Awesome.
Well, thank you
Thank
for
you so
having us.
much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Take care. All right.
Take care. All right. And now we will move on to our next buyer, Richardson International, and welcome Brittany Holt to the conversation. Over to you, Brittany.
Thank you. Well, good morning, everyone. My name, as Marla has said, is Brittany Holt, and I'm a zone merchant at Richardson International. For any of you that are unfamiliar with our business, I'm going to kind of touch on our business overall, and then I'll kind of zoom in on our organics program. So Here at Richardson International, we are among one of North America's largest privately owned agribusinesses. Our head office is located in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and with over 3,000 employees and 100 locations across Canada, the US, and into the UK, we're a global leader in agriculture, food processing, and have been serving our customers for over 160 years. We handle all major Canadian grown grains and oilseeds and are a vertically integrated producer of food and ingredients. On our pioneer side of the business, we have 54 full-service agribusiness elevators across Canada who handle grain, as well as offer a complete range of fertilizer, crop inputs, and agronomic advice, as well as an additional 42 crop input focused locations. On the oilseed front, we operate canola crush facilities in Lethbridge and Yorkton, margarine and shortening plants in Lethbridge and Oakville, and a food and ingredients facility in Memphis, Tennessee. On the oat milling front, we have mills located in Portage-la-Prairie, Manitoba, Barrhead, Alberta, Martinsville, Saskatchewan, and South Sioux City, Nebraska, as well as one in Bedford in England. We also have a newly acquired Durham mill in St. Louis, Missouri. Now I'll switch over to focus on our organic program. So currently our organic program is solely focused on oats, and we handle our organics through our 2 mills, one located in Barrhead, Alberta, as well as one in Portage-la-Prairie, Manitoba. And so I believe for most of you on the call, you'd be looking at engaging into our program into the Portage-la-Prairie mill. From the current market dynamic front, as I'm sure we're all aware, as Dwayne touched on it earlier in the session here as well, production is down all across the board. And of course, that's going to impact oat production as well. StatsCan on September 14th, their latest kind of estimates were around the fact that production looking to fall about 43%, still to be determined. And of course, with tight production does come very strong prices. An additional factor that we are seeing in this year's production are lower test weights, which we continue to manage at our mills, making use of the crop that we have all been faced with. This means that obtaining samples and representative samples from our producers is a very key component in our organic oat program and something that your local pioneer location can easily assist you with. We currently have needs for organic oats for early November and forward. And from the price perspective, contacting your local pioneer location is going to be your best way to obtain the most current pricing as well as contract options. We offer both delivered and farm pickup contracting options with the ability to flat price or enter target price levels, which some of you may be familiar with as market managers. It's been a pleasure sharing our program information with all of you today. And now I think we're going to have time for a few questions.
That's perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much, Brittany, for that and sharing your program. We do have some questions that have come in, and I'm going to just be a little bit cheeky and say, do you have a price indication for your oats? Since that's what everybody on the call is going to want to know. But obviously for pricing based on individual situations, that they can get in touch with your elevators. But yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I would say there's going to be a couple of factors, right, that are going to play into that pricing, where the producer is located, whether they're going to be looking at farm pickup or delivered options, as well as what their quality factors are looking like. So 100%, as you said, having and engaging at that local pioneer level is going to be your best option to get your pricing.
Okay, for sure. And then just with your contracts, do you have an active God clause in your organic contracts?
So we currently do not, and that's consistent with all of our other commodity contracts. So we just want to make sure that we're being as consistent with our producers across all of our business units.
Okay, no, that's good to know. And then let's see, I'm just reading the questions as I go down. Where do you see, so I guess, kind of looking at the other side of your business, the conventional side, where do you see the price for conventional oats going?
Well,
And
I
will
think
you?
it's with. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no. And the rest of the question is, and will you be buying organic to fill conventional needs? There you go.
So I would say from the conventional standpoint, across all commodities, right, we're dealing with tight production. The demand that we're seeing is still there, and as Dwayne had mentioned earlier, you are seeing as much as possible end users substitute what they can out of their programs to mitigate their costs. But until we see a significant refill of crop, we're going to continue to see that market volatility driven not only by production shortages, there's also the high energy markets, high fertilizer costs, all those factors are playing into it. And right now, in terms of the swapping conventional and organic, we run the two programs separately, and we'll continue to do that.
Okay, no, that's perfect. That is, whenever I say that, yeah, that we're good. All right, so thank you again, Brittany, for being here today. And like I've said, for all of our buyers, if you're interested in learning more about the programs, please get in touch. And yeah, we hope that all of our buyers get some business out of attending today. So thank you so much. We appreciate your support. All right, so now we'll move on to our next buyer. Got too many things going on here. Okay, Mgm Seed and Grain. So welcome, Mark Valwa, to the call today, and the floor is yours.
Thanks, Marla. Mark Valwa, like you said, I am the grain buyer here at Mgm Seed and Grain, and we are an organic and conventional gluten-free oat mill here in Saskatoon. We've been in operation since, I guess, 2018. And Bay State Milling has been a minority shareholder, and as of June of this year, Bay State Milling acquired us 100% now, but we're still working under the name of Mgm Seed and Grain for the time being. So like I said, we're an oat mill here in Saskatoon. We buy just oats, I guess, so there's no other commodities, so it's going to be a short presentation. So but now that Bay State owns us as well, they deal with a lot of other commodities, so I'm sure they will be, in the future, there's going to be markets for other crops as well in the organic and conventional markets. So, so back to the oats. Right now, like everybody says, it's what day do you want to price for? Is it today or tomorrow? So, right now we're at $10. That's picked up in the yard, and we can do that for immediate delivery. People want some later movement pricing, they can give me a call or email me. That's just about it, I guess. And we're always looking for new contracts, new growers to join our network. We try and keep everything in a, do everything in the pre-contracting, but this year, due to the drought, we're out for spot buying, but that's about all I've got, I guess. So
that's perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much. So since you mostly do sort of that new crop contracting, is it way too early for you to be thinking about 2022 and pricing, or?
Well, it is, because I don't want to, it's a little bit too early right now. Who knows where it's going to be at in the spring, right? So
yeah, no, that's fair. And so I guess what I would just encourage folks to get in touch with you if they are interested in learning about your spring your spring contracts when you have that information available, which is true for all of the other buyers. So maybe could you just tell us a little bit more about Bay State Milling?
Bay State Milling, there's a company out of the they're one of the biggest privately owned milling companies in the States. They do a lot of wheat. They've got I think 12 different locations in the US. I don't know where they all are, but they do all kinds of kinds of stuff there. So the wheat milling is one of their biggest, definitely their biggest mill that they have in the US. So.
Okay, no, that's good to know. So thank you so much, and thank you for being here being here today, Mark. We appreciate it. So I think we'll move on to, oh, sorry. Let's look at the questions are flashing here. So let me see. Oh, I've asked this question. Oh, and so maybe, yeah, that's a good point. Talk just a little bit more about you being gluten-free, and, you know, because there are, to my knowledge, there are some gluten-free certifications. Are those required, or what is your testing like? And, you know, should people be sending in samples, or how does that all work?
So what we do, like, is on our contracts, so we do pre-contracting for everything. Then our contracts, forgot to mention too, our 100% production contract on the contracted acres with full active God on there as well. And to require for the purity, we do, it's got a minimum of 2 years without any gluten crops, and making sure that we start with good clean seed as well. So those are the two main things, and we can get further into it as well, as, you know, if anybody's interested. So
Okay.
keeping everything clean as well. So it's we don't require the certification on farm level for the gluten-free, but I do crop inspections with the contracted growers, so we know ahead of time if something's needs to be changed or we need to tweak anything on that. So
Okay, no, that's great. And then what are your typical payment terms?
I would pay within 2 weeks delivered.
2 weeks after delivery?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I think now, just when I say it, I don't think there are any more questions. One usually drops in, but it doesn't look like it. So thank you again, Mark, for being here and participating in the forum. And we will move on to our next buyer. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, so we're moving on now to XPT Grain, and I would like to welcome Christos Liguriadis. I practiced, sorry, Christos, for butchering your name. Next time I will get it. I just know you as Christos, so.
Thank you, Marla.
So welcome, yeah, and
thank you very much. My
Yeah.
pleasure to be here today. Welcome all the panelists and guests. My name is Christos Liguriadis. I'm the Vice President with XPT Grain. Our head office is located in beautiful Regina, Saskatchewan. We're in business since 2014. We're licensed and bonded with Canadian Grain Commission, and we're working on the conventional side. We're licensed certified organic with ProCert since 2015, and we're halal certified, and we're working on specific markets, mostly in Asia, Japan, Taiwan, and China. We have a lot of a big database with organic producers in Saskatchewan and Alberta, and we're mostly working on the yellow pea fractionation sector. We have production contracts on a yearly basis with producers with an act of God. Historically, we're allocating anywhere between 3,000 to 5,000 metric tons per year of organic yellow peas. And we have a full control of the logistic disposition. We have a very strong logistic team in our head office, as well as accounting team in our head office. And we have a good control from the farm gate all the way to the port gate at the final destination in China. We've seen a lot of challenges in the last 12 months with availability of equipment, as well as price when it comes to commodities. It seems like the costs keep going up, and we're at the point right now that we're very concerned losing market share with other regions on the organic sector. So there's a fine line that buyers right now are very concerned if they're able to procure and receive the product as per shipping terms. Our expectations or predictions for 2022 is that the organic is still a strong sector. The demand is being steady. It hasn't really increased, but the price have significant increase. And what drives that definitely is the conventional sector, because the price of the conventional sector are increased. That was a golden opportunity for us, for our producers, to support our producers and boost the prices up and compete with the conventional side. We haven't seen more demand for our international buyers yet, but they're very well aware that there's some shortages in the market, and the prices are much stronger. When it comes to quality of mostly organic yellow peas that I'm working with, the quality is much better than last year. We moved inventory as we speak right now, and majority of them, I would say 95% of the organic yellow peas that we handle right now are a good Canada #2 grade. We haven't seen any problems with earth tag or with pigweed or with any other issues. So the color is overall good. We work variety specific with our producers on our production contract. We want to make sure we have a variety that it yields well, stands up well, and also has a good nutritional profile. And so far this year, Mother Nature was on our side, and we've seen very good results. The biggest problem we have right now, most of our producers facing this year again, is weed competition and volunteers. So it's a big problem. It's a big problem for them, and we're trying to figure out with rotation and with the right products in place to make sure that they have a good yields year after year after year. Currently, our expectation when it comes to, I would say, organic yellow peas is to have moisture below 16%. The sweet spot is around 14.5% for us. No tolerance for pigweed or earth tag, and crack seed coats or splits around 2 to 3% maximum. And then if it's above that, we'll take another look, and we rarely reject our products, but we're going to make sure we don't get penalized from the factories overseas. One of the biggest problems we have right now is equipment allocation with our steamship lines and the freight forwarders. The cost compared to last year is at least time and a half for a 40-foot container. We're trying to work with many different options, from loading rail cars and trying to secure 20-foot containers in Vancouver. We try to work with intermodals and 40-foot containers or repos. But again, we're looking at a significant increase per container going into Asia. And as we arrive in Asia, our clients again face a significant problem again with their prices exporting from Asia to US or to Europe. The prices are almost, in some cases, 7 to 10 times higher per container. So there's a big concern how we're going to manage that risk. And with exchange rates in place as well, there's a significant risk that companies are trying to manage on a daily basis. Going forward, currently we're looking to purchase organic yellow peas, as of most of the respected presenters here. We're all in the same bulk game. It depends the location. We're sitting around the $22 per bushel for farm dress, and it could be FOB or delivered. It depends the location. If it's in Outlook area, or is at Gull Lake area, or is it in northern Alberta. So all depends the location, and that's be FOB or delivered. One of the requirements that we have in place, we test for chemicals, because we want to make sure our organic yellow peas, they have no traces of any chemicals. We, as XPT Grain, we pay for the for testing. We're testing for AMPA, aminophosphoric acids. We're testing for glufosinate, and we're testing for glyphosate. And that's an expensive test, but again, that gives a confidence to us, to our respected buyers overseas, as well to the producer. It's a verification, and kudos to the producer that there's no any traces of any chemicals. And every contract we have in place, our specifications are very clear. We emphasize that there's no tolerance for any chemicals. So currently we're looking to purchase organic yellow peas, and for going forward for 2022 is a little bit early. We don't know where how far we're going to move the needle this year. And based on that, I think it's nice to see that the prices are going up. So I will tentatively say that we're probably looking around the $15 a bushel for 5 bushels per acre, with AOG in place and first option for the remaining. So that's where we at. And for movements right now, we're moving. Most of our contracts right now are filled for October, November, December. There's some room left for December movement, and then we're looking for January, March, April movements right now for organic yellow peas. I will touch a little bit on the conventional side with our processing plan in Alberta. With a seed plan in Alberta, we have a lot of access to. We specialize on marrow fat peas on the conventional side. We're in process to right now. We have an application to turn the plant into organic. We specialize in marrow fats, working exclusively in Japan and Taiwan on the conventional side, and slowly. We're looking to work with producers, organic producers, and develop a few different markets on the green peas and the marrow fat peas and maple peas. We do a lot of work on maple peas, variety specific, and also 4010s variety specific, and Austrian winter peas as well. That's all I have for now. If you have any questions, please let me know. Our contact informations are on the board. I'd like to thank and congratulate Marla and the team with Saskatchewan Organics for providing relentless providing value to our producers and to us on a weekly basis. Thank you very much for your time, everybody.
Yeah, thank you so much, Christos, and a very, very comprehensive presentation, which I appreciate, and I'm sure that the people on the call do as well. There are a couple of questions that come in, but what I'm going to ask is for Deb maybe to follow up with you after with the questions, and we'll get those answers out to folks. So thank you so much again for being here today. We really appreciate it, and we'll move on to our next buyer. So thank you so much. And we're moving on now to Avina Foods and Mike Gallet. Welcome, Mike. All right, so maybe we'll move. Mike, are you there?
I'm getting with the program here. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
I'm old, so I'm okay with this technology stuff. Trust me.
No,
Mike Gallet,
that's fine.
Pardon me. Sorry. Mike Gallet with Avina Foods. We are in the gluten-free, organic, and conventional section. We do organic pulses, we do organic oats and conventional oats. and then of course conventional organic pulses. I've been in the industry, in the business for probably 30 years, so I've been around in the pulse business for that long. A little bit about our company. Best Cooking Pulses, who I formerly worked with and was a partner in, we started in 1936 with Margaret and Trudy, my two other partners. Their grandfather started the company. And then, of course, in 2018, we came together with Avina Foods, and Avina Foods was a gluten-free oat company, organic and conventional, that was started in 2008 by a bunch of pedigreed seed growers. So basically, what I want to talk about today is markets a little bit. What we're seeing is, it's kind of a funny kind of a storm with the we're seeing with the shipping and the logistics. The supply chains are all screwed up everywhere. There's two markets here to really talk about. One is the North American market, which we are really active in, and then the other one is more of the worldwide market. And what's happening is normally we're seeing record high prices on conventional, and I think maybe not record high prices on organics, but they're definitely up there, and it's partly due because it's hard to bring offshore product into North America right now with the, there's, you talk about like Long Beach, California, there's 30 container ships waiting to unload. There's all kinds of issues there. Freight prices, one of the issues, and it's a bit scary, is once we get past the North American consumption or North American demand, once we get past that demand, then we're starting to participate in the worldwide markets. And what happens is freight costs are really expensive, and I don't know what the demand numbers are like everywhere around the world, but one of the things that I do know is that with our high prices, and then you throw the freight on top of it, it might be pretty hard to compete. So the markets are good, really good, but on the other hand, they may be a bit fragile too. So it's like, you kind of got to skate the line, I think, this year, and it'll be interesting to see where things all shake out. It's all going to come down to supply and demand worldwide. Organic pea prices, for an example, one of the things that you're seeing is the fractionators here are having to buck up to pay for peas this year because the yields are down, and then the other side of it is with that is that of course the traditional markets are, if you're trying to export to someplace, there's a bit of a sticker shock, both on conventional and organic. So basically what we're seeing right now is our green pea pricing and the yellow pea pricing for spot purchases right now, depending on your location and stuff, but it's typically around that $22 to $23 range. And the other pulses, the lentils, that sort of thing, probably more quality driven. So that stuff is more of a, get us a sample, we'll get you a price kind of market, and we'll bid on that. So that we're looking at all that stuff. One of the things, new crop pricing for peas, we're probably, it's a little bit early, but we're probably in that $20 range for new crop peas, and that's like 5 or 10 bushels the acre that's got an active god, yeah, it's a kind of production contract. So we have the first right of refusal on the balance of that crop. So basically that's it, Marla. If you like now, I'm willing to handle a few questions. So.
For sure. Thank you so much, Mike. Just a question again, just on, are you buying yellow and green peas?
Yes, we are. Yep.
Yep. And then can you just talk a little bit about your gluten-free protocol?
Okay, our gluten-free protocol, like on the peas, it's not, we don't get a lot of demand for that. It's more on on our oat side of the business. I should talk a little bit about oats too. I've been a pulse buyer for too long. I forgot about the oats. So I'm sorry for that. But we're in the gluten-free oat business. So basically we're millers. We're oat millers. We have a plant in Regina where we mill our oats, and then we have another one. We're in the process of building a second facility at our location in Rowett. So we have a pea splitting plant. We have an organic pulse cleaning facility. We have an oat cleaning facility, and now we're building a mill as well. So pretty exciting times for us. Maybe we'll get this thing done in order to, at the end of the year, to mill some of these high-priced oats, so we'll see what happens, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's always a puzzle. Yeah. Okay, so a question just around, can you just talk a little bit more about what you mean by right of first refusal?
So right of first refusal on a contract is how that works is you sign a contract for 5 or 10 bushels, whatever, and then whatever the rest of your production is, we have, if you want to sell it and you bring us an offer sheet of whatever it is, we can say, okay, yeah, we'll take it, or we'll let you go. So you're not really locked in on your other stuff. It's just that we get a chance to buy. We have the chance to match whatever price that you've got. So okay. We've been doing that. You know what? That's pretty common. We've been doing that for probably 20 years. So it's like it's nothing new for us. So yeah. It works. The guys are happy with that. One of the things that we're looking at too is we're going to be coming out with our new oat pricing here, I would say before the new year for the new crop. And what we're planning on doing with that one is we're going to give our growers a guarantee that if prices increase, we have a chance. We'll do the first right of refusal or last right of refusal on that as well. So that just means that you have a chance if the prices go up, we'll kind of match it or whatever. So just like we're coming off a year where people are really gun shy about signing contracts for production contracts, because a lot of guys are delivering, they're delivering $7 or $8 oats, organic oats into a $10 or $12 market kind of thing. So depending on what you have and whatever, so it's not much fun. And so it's been one of those, it's one of those years in 10 where the people that sign a contract probably aren't gonna make out as well as the ones that don't. But the other 9 years, those guys that signed the contract they're going to Hawaii, and the other guys are staying at home there cleaning out bin bottoms. So
Yeah, it's for sure. And just 2 quick questions before we move on. Do you have any interest in French green lentils?
Yes, we do. Absolutely. Okay. So we're looking for some French greens. We're looking for lairds. We've got markets. There's markets available. I think one of the things that we'd like to do is probably get a hold of us and send us a sample. And it's the same with the oats and all the pulses. We require a sample before we buy it, because we just found out over the years that we don't like surprises. It either surprises us or it surprises the grower, and it'll kick one of us in the ass. And I'm getting too old for that, so you know how that goes. So.
All right, no, that sounds great. And a price indication for French greens, or
you know what? It's north of $1.
Okay. Perfect.
It depends on what the quality is and where it is and stuff, but it's north of $1 for sure.
Okay, excellent. And we do have a few more questions, but like I've said to other buyers, I might get Deb to shoot them off to you so that we can share them in groups.
Sure.
So we can, because I'm not being a very good time manager and we're over time. So
okay, well, I just want to thank you and Deb for putting this on. It's always a great. It's a great forum. So yeah.
Yeah.
Good job.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Good to see you. All right. Okay. And we thank you again. And we'll move on to our next buyer, ONT Farms. Welcome, Ken Richmond. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to be here this morning. I'm with ONT Farms. We're based out of Regina. We have two plants, one on number 11. It's a conventional plant that we buy fabas and pulses, peas, canola, bean culls, things like that. And then the other plant we have is north of Regina on number 6, and we've converted into an organic plant. That happened about 4 years ago. We got into the organics because there was a demand from our customers. And at that plant, we buy organic peas, yellow or green. We buy flax, brown or yellow. And we buy a small amount of alfalfa and a wee bit of canola. And depends on what ration we're making, whether we use it. Very small amounts of canola. I'd say this year has been a bit of an unprecedented market. This time last year we were what, $800 for flax, and now we're probably $2,200. So it's changed. Quality this year from the small amounts that we've seen has been pretty good. Limited to date, but we continue to ask for representative samples when we are looking to buy something. Representative samples, like Mike says, it's the best thing to go because nobody likes surprises either way. Been around long enough to know that can be a shock. In our organics, we try to buy the feed grade as much as we can, and why that is just for price. What we do is we blend organic peas with organic flax, and we grind it up and then extrude it and then mark it out. So we can use product that's maybe a touch off grade, but this year the quality's been pretty good. It hasn't been a lot of off grade to date. Peas have been coming in pretty clean, actually, very clean. And the flax, the limited stuff we've seen this year from new has been good. A little bit of green. Actually, there's still a lot of it in the field, to be honest with you. A little bit of green with second growth, but we can use that. We do not have cleaners at our place. We will take product that can have some dockage up 5-6%. Peas usually comes in 2-3% anyhow. Flax, as you all know, can get pretty dirty. So if it gets up over the 8%, we prefer somebody to get it cleaned and get it down to a more manageable number. Like I say, we like to get samples for everything. Flax specifically, we try to, we're buying oil basically. We're not buying flax, we're buying oil. And we test it. We've got 2 FOS testers here. We can do tests for ALA, which is a linoleic acid, and that's what we're trying to put into feed. So that's when we buy flax, we're after the oil at the end of the day. Prices, like I say, it's gone up this year quite a bit. I think there's less organic flax out there, just because people got out of maybe growing it, and the carryover's not around either, so it's a bit limited. Currently, we've been around the $55 a bushel range, up to 60, depending on quality. I hear some good products trading for 65, but that's high-end product. So we tend to try to get the other stuff. I will say, I think, was it Mike said, or maybe Dwayne, low prices cure low prices, high prices cure high prices. So I think we're a little bit concerned with market. These high prices may chase away some end users just because they can't afford it. So that's one thing we got to keep in the back of our mind. But so far the contracts, people have been buying steadily, as always has, but time will tell. We are looking for organic flax right now. Peas isn't a huge problem. We're able to find it anywhere from feed grade. We're paying about $7.50 a ton. We up to $8.50. So that, when you guys say $22, that's in the game. 22. Flax, like I said, is 55 to 60 bucks a bushel, and we're looking for actually both. So other than that, that's about all I have. I'm like Mike. These webinars are kind of new to old guys like us. So I thank Deb for helping us out, and if there's any questions, I'll try to answer them. Thank you.
That's excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ken. I have one question. It's actually about your sample size. How big of a sample do folks need to send in?
Well, I'm getting old school. Half an ice cream pail. Usually what I say, or a sandwich bag, big sandwich bag, and we can send it into the office or drop it off at our number 6 highway, and they can grade it right there as you're standing there. Okay, and then somebody, one attendee is asking about your end market. Is it pet food? I know you use chickens. Yeah. No, it's chicken and dairy, and Eggland's Best in the States, or some big companies in the States, and then Burnbrae is another one in Canada that we deal with. So yeah, it's dairy and poultry. Okay, no, that's excellent. Thanks so much, Ken, for being here today, and I'm sure you'll be getting some samples and calls, and I think with flax, there are fewer acres. Like in the province, in terms of oil seeds, we have the most acres are planted to flax compared to other, mustard and others. But it is still quite a niche market, and for some farmers, they really like to grow it. So, they grow it whenever it fits into their rotation. But my understanding is it can be, a little bit finicky as well. So, yeah, but if markets are there, farmers will grow. So, yep. Let's see. Does flaxseed fit into a gluten-free rotation? Good question. I don't know. All right. We'll maybe look into that. Yep. I'm not going to answer that either. Yeah, Daryl, sure it does. Yeah, it's an oil seed. So yeah. Thanks, Daryl. Okay, perfect. Okay, thanks again, Ken. We really appreciate you being here, and we appreciate ONT support. So we will now move on to our next company, Scoular. So welcome, Drew.
Hello. Good afternoon or good morning, I guess, at this point in time. Just a little bit of introduction to Scoular. First time that we've ever been on this panel, on this marketing panel, and glad to be here. Big thank you to Saskatchewan Organics for organizing this and continuing to provide value to Saskatchewan organic growers. It's a great forum, and I've watched a couple now, and it's just obviously just a great opportunity for organic growers to get a touch and a feel and a dial on what's happening in many of the organic markets. You'll kind of kick off, and a lot of the themes have been talked about so far with regards to kind of the macro situation right now. On the world basis, we continue to see supply chain disruptions and a lot of issues with container freight. And this is happening, and this is obviously affecting and inflating prices with consumer goods and food products and such. But I think why this is so important to the organic market right now is just that those foreign organic growers and origination points are really being limited on their ability to hit North American markets just because of high container freight. And we've seen that starting last year. And I think, the previous panelist, he just alluded to it, that we had very limited carryout stocks on whether it was organic yellow peas, organic flax, even different classes of pulses as well, and that really led into this year. Then now you couple that with the drought-like conditions, not drought-like, the full-on drought conditions that we experienced in across Western Canada here, and we we've kind of got a recipe in it for the higher explosive spicy prices that we're working through right now. And that's going to benefit the Canadian organic grower here this year, and likely going to create some opportunities, as many food processors right now are really just looking to streamline their supply chains, look for domestic sourcing, and find different opportunities to limit their supply chain risk that they went through over the last year, and that's a great opportunity for Canadian organic producers and Saskatchewan organic producers. I think overall on the macro side of things, we've kind of seen an increase in organic consumption just at the retail level. We do have any kind of conversations that we do have with our retail partners, anywhere between 15 to 20% through the early stages of COVID, and that's continued to increase, and they're forecasting additional increases in organic consumption in most of retail sectors and food sectors right now. Additionally, feed sectors as well, we're seeing strong demand, strong increase for organic markets and organic grains today. And I think that's we're kind of what Scoular's doing here today, and we have traditionally, we're a 126-year-old company, or sorry, 129-year-old company, and we've been employee-owned company, and we've had a long-standing organics program that's been based out of the States, with corn, organic soybeans, organic wheat, and other oil seeds. And we've been trading in organic products up here in Canada since 2015 as well, in the cereal side, but also primarily, I guess, on the flax side. We're here today, and we've got 4 facilities in Saskatchewan, and one which is particularly focused on organics. That is, we're looking to be just a stable supply chain partner for Canadian organic growers. And we're working in everything from lentils to peas, oats, wheat, flax, kind of you name it, we're in the market for it. Today particularly, I think there's considerable interest in organic chickpeas, organic layered lentils, organic yellow peas, organic oats, obviously, as we've seen all the markets kind of appreciate and value here over the past 6 months. And organic flax is a sizable program that we do run today and continue to run, both gold and brown flax. Right now our delivery periods on a lot of those products are anywhere from October to December. We're at the end of October now, but no D's. We've got some movements, and then obviously into the new year here, Jan through Feb, and then we'll kind of reevaluate from that point forward. We haven't really rolled out any kind of new crop pricing today for our products, but expect that to kind of move forward here in the next couple of weeks, as we start to get a handle on what the markets are going to do and where the markets are going to take us. When we get into really high and high price volatile type markets like what we're seeing today, I mean, with limited grower selling so far into this marketing year, it's going to take quite a bit to just sort out what the consumer, the end user, is going to pay and at what how much volume is actually available out there. So it's going to determine and dictate kind of where we land here moving forward on all of our products. Just a few, I see that obviously our the Saskatchewan organic processor producers are here looking to hear some pricing and definitely want to hear some things. Typically on the brown flax, if you're talking about something that's more of a food grade level, a little bit, we'll say manageable dockage, we're in that $60 a bushel range. Yellow peas right in that 22, 21, depending on location. Milling wheat, if you've got milling wheat that's in that 14.5 protein range or even higher, I think we we're definitely in a spot where we can, if it's in southern parts of Saskatchewan, we can probably have a good conversation about, whether it's 20, 21, 22. I think grower targets are likely closer to 30, 35, 40, but that's kind of where things are sitting today, and what the mills are willing to pay today for a lot of milling wheat. We do take when in the lentils, I think similar to what's been discussed here. We got to see a sample on all of our grain. We got to see a sample, but particularly on the pulses, anything that's going into the food grade side of life, we have to see a sample, and we can work with you on some different pricing indications. Most lentils are in the high, around $1 a pound, with the exception of red lentils, organic red lentils today. And organic chickpeas are kind of in that range as well. Trying to think of what else I wanted to cover here. Yeah, I think I'm kind of good on that front. Marla, open to all questions here.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Oh, did I freeze?
Oh, it looks like Marla froze here, so let's.
So I'm going to say, so that I get some questions in, that I don't have any questions. And chickpea, I know that. Oh, sorry, there's Deb.
Oh, there you're back.
I think. Oh, there are a few questions. Yeah. Oh, okay, excellent. So I must be having some connectivity issues, which is strange being in Regina, but there you go. Let's see, I do have some questions. Oh, are you able to clean? Or
yeah,
does it
so
have
we
to
do
come
have a
to the
processing facility. We do have a processing facility up in northern Saskatchewan. We also have one that's located in Manitoba. We do clean pulses, cereals, and oil seeds as well. It's a big part of our program, actually, is cleaning elevation. So something we can work through for sure.
Excellent. No, that's good. That's good to know. And do you purchase mustard or French green lentils?
Yeah, interested in both. At this point in time, it's tough to kind of nail down what a bid would be on the organic mustard. Just you would have to look at a sample and kind of get an idea of the oil and everything like that. Pretty volatile, that's for sure. I don't think the market has moved as fast. The conventional market on mustard is sky high right now. I think I'm seeing 80 cents or 85 cents on yellow, and Oriental sitting around that 60-cent mark, which is pretty extreme on the conventional side. Or we're hitting some pretty high numbers there. Places that we probably haven't been in many times in the last 20 years. Yeah. On the organic side, it feels like there definitely was some supply that was available out there previously, and we're going to see probably the end user chew through a lot of that before they're going to come to the market and look to secure. That being said, I think it was already talked about with the sprouted seeds. I mean, there's a limited supply on the organic mustard front, so it's it's a price you're going to have to work through. That's for sure. The French green lentils, similar type, around that $1 a pound type area, but subject to sample, have to take a look at it, see what we're working with, and we can go from there.
Okay, no, excellent. Yeah, and I think, or my last question here, your prices, are they picked up prices or delivered prices that you quoted?
Yeah, most of them are picked up. Typically, everything that we're going to do on the wheat front is going to be picked up FOB farm. Oats as well, anything that we're going to do on the oat market, and generally we work off of a lot of picked up prices, so it'll all be picked up at that front.
Perfect. Well, thank you again, Drew, for being a part of the forum and for the first time. So we appreciate that, and glad you're here. And thanks again. And we'll move on to our next presentation, or from our next grain. Thank you to our next grain buyer, which is Alex Galarno, PHS Organics. So the floor is yours, Alex.
Okay, thank you, Marla, and thank you to all the participants today. This is a fine day to have, a little cold out there. Heritage Seeds, who are we? We are a family-run organization. been in organics for over 35 years. We are producers, processors, and exporters. We buy all types of grains. Our primary product we buy is kamut, as everybody knows, and we contract with a large number of growers in southern Saskatchewan. Prairie Heritage Seeds, processing plant. We process, clean, bag, ship bulk rail cars of grain. We have quite a extensive lab in-house. We test for microtoxins, grain quality, and also we drink pesticide residue, not in-house, but on most of the grains that we ship out. Typically, the only contracts, production contracts we have been offering is the kamut contract, full act of God clause. We have a unique clause in that contract where we reserve the right to raise the price at any time. I'm glad to hear some of the panelists today are including that in their contracts. That enables the producer to gain a little bit on any price increase in the market, as we are seeing today. We are looking right now for hard red spring wheat at market price, black lentils, green peas, and yellow peas. All prices are consistent with all the other buyers, but subject to sample approval. Sample approval means we have to take a look at it. Our buyers have to take a look at it, and we have to do the proper testing to make sure that it can be imported into the respective countries. Looking at my notes here, Prairie Heritage Seeds also is a long-term participant in the organic checkoff, and all our producers are also. And I encourage all the other panelists to get involved in this program, help fund this beautiful organization we have. It's minimal cost to the growers, and this is the benefit we're seeing today on all our checkoff money is beneficial to the farmers. So I encourage all the participants to actively enroll in that. Crop quality this year, wow, what can I say? Quality was up, as always. Quality is up, production is down. For most of you, I think you understand that there was a dividing line in Saskatchewan where the east side of the province did receive some moisture and had a crop. The west side moisture was non-existent, and right now stubble moisture levels are actually quite low. This has a big impact on where we're going in the future. Our buyers are aware of the conditions going in. Prices will be reflecting on that. What can I say? If we got a crop, we'll be doing all right next year. But if we don't get a crop, it's going to be the same situation again. So, yeah, on the pricing on the crops this year, our end users, and we primarily deal with all the end users. We deal directly with end users, and they have been a little bit shy in coming to the market up till now, but now have decided to get into the market because they realize that the price is what it is going to be, and there's not going to be a lower price. And with the logistics that was already indicated, the logistics problem already indicated that it's very difficult to import. So it bodes well for Canadian growers, those who have a crop, those who have grain to sell, will do very well this year. Going forward, I think the prices, we will see some overage in the production contracts going forward to get the acres, to guarantee the acres. Also, we have to remind ourselves we're in a global market. They will not also be looking just at Canada for supply because of our soil conditions. So keep that in mind. What else can I say? Marla, I'm open for questions if there is any.
Yeah, no, for sure. And are you looking for all crops now, or what's your delivery windows or?
Our wish list right now, we are looking for flax, hard red spring wheat, and we are looking for black lentils. We have a buyer really interested in black lentils. If you have some, give our office a call, or our grains procurement officer, Gord Crowan, a call. He'll talk to the prices. I give you a price, but it'll change tomorrow. And tell you what, it's not going down; it's going up. So,
Yeah, so that's for sure. As somebody said, a kind of a once in a 10-year cycle. We're definitely on the upswing. So okay, and then a question just about your commute contract. What are you pricing? What is your price now? I'm sure I suspect it's early for 2022, but
Yeah. Our contract price was $22 in the spring, with the right to raise that price. We are going to engage on that clause. There's going to be a 3 in front of that number, but my buyers have not actually signed the papers on it. But it will be in the low 30s, high 20s.
wow.
And that's for the 2021 crop. Now, going forward, hey, we got to be competitive on the prices, and we will be there. And if we're not at that moment, we will be at the end, like we have in the past. We've exercised that clause, I think, pretty well every year in the last 5 years. So, and our growers are fully aware of that there's a residual check comes after the grain has been hauled, even if it's been hauled 4 months ago. So.
Right. Okay. Well, that's really, really good to know. And maybe just talk a little bit about, because I know Kamut is a limited growing area in the province. So just so for folks who are on the call who may not be familiar.
Yeah. So Kamut is grown in the semi-arid part of the province, the brown and light brown soil zone. If you are in the black soil zone, it's difficult with disease, and biggest issue is disease. Fusarium, and it really kicks it in the butt, and nobody comes out of that happy, grower or our customers. So basically anything south of number 1, and we can go a little higher up around the Kindersley area, and we have in the past, and we also contract in Alberta too. So.
Okay. No, that's really helpful. And I don't have any more questions that have come in while we've been chatting here. So thank you again for being here, Alex. Thank you to PHS for your support of the industry, not just Sask Organics, but other organizations as well. And your shout out for the checkoff, appreciated. So thank you again, and we will move on to our next.
Well, just one point. For those growers who are concerned high commodity prices on the conventional side, just remember the organic industry has a little slow to react a little bit, but it will be there. We might take a little bit of time, and we know where the conventional prices are going in the years to come. More so, not the prices, but the net return. They're with high fertilizer prices and everything, and chemical prices. We're actually hearing some farmers actually switching to organics. So for us organics who are in the business, let's support the industry and stay in it. We'll be well rewarded in the long term. And I think the future is still great. Thanks, Marla, and thanks to everybody for listening.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Alex. All right, so we will move on now to FW Cobs. Welcome, Ben Horrigan. Thank you for being here again today, and over to you.
Thanks so much, Marla, and wanted to thank you, Deb, and the rest of the Sask Organics crew for putting this together. Just to tell you a little bit more about FW Cobs, we're a small family-owned organic business, work exclusively in organics, and this year we're celebrating our 16th year in operation. Just wanted to say, like others have mentioned, typically what works best for us is sending in samples. If you have any questions, we like to take all the questions out of the equation and make sure that when you bring something in, the price that you're going to get for your product. So having said that, we are looking for organic peas, organic barley, organic wheat, organic rye, and organic screenings as well. Right now, looking at pricing, prices since last harvest have gone up, anywhere from 40 to nearly 100% since last harvest, and the demand's certainly there, and given the short supply this year, I think the prices will stay strong for the definitely for the long term here as we come into winter. Getting a lot of calls lately, and definitely think this is an important thing to bring up. What we're trying to do on our end is, help the people that normally have full loads that may not have a full load this year. I'm getting a lot of calls about split loads, and we've been working a lot with our logistics partners to try and coordinate split loads so that guys can be able to move those half loads and not have the freight be a big problem on their end, and make sure that they can get that money that they deserve for their product. So we're really flexible. What I would recommend, if you do have a split load, would be to give Pete or myself a call and just discuss what you have, what you're looking for, and see if we can find you a split load that'll make that'll make it to the elevator in Lorburn. Primarily, we operate out of Lorburn, Saskatchewan, but also are doing some loaded rail in certain places where people have access to it. So, if you're not very close to the elevator, give us a call. We want to work with you. Our logistics specialist, Ryan, has been doing a great job in finding new opportunities for us. So, give us a call and let's chat. Certainly would, be remiss if I didn't bring up the pipeline food situation. It's something that we certainly feel for all of those affected, and since July, since the notice of bankruptcy filing, we've had a lot of internal discussions about what we can do as a company to restore the trust out there, and being a small company that we are, we want to talk with producers about stuff, whether it's something that you don't like in a contract, or you don't like the payment terms, or we want to hear feedback from you on what's going to make you feel more comfortable about doing business again. This is a serious thing in the industry, and we want to as an industry should all take more steps in increasing the trust in every person that's doing business out there. And frankly, there needs to be accountability, and we want to talk with you and make sure that we're doing everything we can to earn your business and keep your trust with us. So just a few more things here. Currently don't have any 2022 new crop pricing, but what I would recommend, as the prices are changing daily with this market, would be to give us a call for the most accurate prices, because a price today may not be the price tomorrow. So certainly reach out, give Peter or I a call, and we definitely look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you so much, Ben. So of course, one of the first questions is, oh, come on, just a teaser with prices? And
certainly knew that was coming, Marla.
Yeah.
So, we've bought barley anywhere from, and as I mentioned, we're primarily in the feed side of things. So, looking for feed grade peas, everything I mentioned is mostly feed grade that we're looking for. I've bought barley as high as $10 for feed grade. We're trying to work with our end users and looking at everything. The biggest problem is the conventional corn price. I mean, it's the first time we've ever paid more for barley than we have for corn. So it's, and at the same time, the end users, the conversations we've had is, they're looking for wheat, they're looking for barley, but at this point, for them to pay that is tough. But certainly, at some point, it's either they're going to find something else or they're going to have to pay the prices. So, we're speaking with them regularly, trying to, kind of get a better idea of what their needs are and what the forecast looks like for them. So, peas, number threes, we've paid as high as 20, 21, not out of the question, certainly. Screenings is our big thing lately, just because guys are looking for the filler in the in their rations, as high as 220 a metric ton. And if you have a certain screening, a certain mix that you have that you feel deserves a premium, give Peter or I a call. we're certainly open to listening, and like I said, send in a sample. We want to look at things and make sure that we can give you top dollar for what you have, because certainly we know with the year that it's been for most producers, you deserve as much as you can get for it, and we want to help you with that. So.
Okay, no, that's excellent, and thank you for those price indications as well. We appreciate that. And I think that you have answered the questions that have come in. So thank you so much. Oh,
Great.
and are your prices? Sorry, I'm hesitating a little bit because I'm reading the questions as I'm finishing up here. But are your prices, are they delivered to Lorber, your prices, or you'll just work with farmers?
We have, some really good trusted logistics partners that we work with that exclusively haul organic for us and are really well versed in it. So we're open to we do most of our pricing is FOB, but a lot of it does depend on the location of the producer. So.
Okay. Perfect. Thanks so much, Ben. We appreciate you being here today, and we will move on to our next buyer.
Thanks, Marla.
Thank you. All right. And our next buyer is Sunrise Foods. So we welcome Bill Longman. The floor is yours.
Hi, Marla. Nice to see you. Thanks to you and Deb for putting this on again. Sorry, my man cave's a little cluttered right now. It's turned into my exercise room because I'm getting too fat and trying to lose some weight here over COVID, working from home. I'd just like to talk a little bit about Sunrise Foods. Been around since '97, I guess. Started in Saskatoon. Started as a Saskatchewan-based company. We've grown, I guess, in leaps and bounds, you'd say. We're worldwide now. We've got some office in the United States, office in Europe. And that's really helped us with our international trading and trying to make the most of every trade and find the most markets around the globe. So it keeps us busy. We've got elevators out in Killam, Alberta, Alexander, Manitoba. We've got about 3 plants in Saskatchewan that do the majority of our cleaning, whether it be for pulses, oil seeds, and such. So. I guess being this late in the call, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel here. We've talked about drought. We've talked about strong prices, crazy markets. It's nice to see everything finally come back. I like when the phone rings. The farmers are in a good mood because things are looking good. It's not like the last couple of years where we're haggling over a nickel and everybody's a little. It's tough. It's been really tough. We've lost some good organic growers. Some guys have looked over the fence to the conventional markets and said, maybe I better go that route. I like the fact that the markets have responded, and where I feel like the prices will be good enough now that'll stop that flow of people to the other side and maybe stabilize things a little bit again here. So yeah, we're getting over the COVID hangover, I guess you call it. Nobody wants to talk about COVID anymore. You're starting to hear the prices coming up, the creak of the old bin doors. Some of these old bins are starting to open, and that's good. We got guys that have been able to hold on. I think are going to realize some good strong prices for the grain. We've discussed ocean freight, container freight. We've talked about. A lot of people discuss conventional markets again, bring that back, but they're talking about how the price of organic should automatically be double conventional. Well, that's always kind of been the rule, the unwritten rule. It's just going to take some time. I don't think with these crazy high conventional prices you're going to see double necessarily, but we're going to be strong. As some of the other panelists have mentioned, there is a limit. Some of the customers will start to look elsewhere, or they'll start to just simply not carry the products that we're offering because the price will get too high. But there is a sweet spot here, and hopefully it works for everybody. So that'll be nice. I might as well get to prices since we trade pretty much every organic grain there is, other than hemp. We do trade in a lot of organic grains, always have. We do a lot of oats. Oats has been mentioned a few times, is strong. We don't don't do gluten-free, and we're probably known as maybe being a little less picky or stringent on our quality as some folks. So Saskatchewan Oats right now probably been anywhere from $9 in the yards plus, depending on where you're at. We didn't really need this fuel increase at that. We were just, things were going up nicely, and now the price of fuel has gone up, and our truck freight is going to suffer, and rail along with it. So that's not going to help. But 9 or better on oats, give us a shout. We'll figure out where you're at, and we do all picked up pricing for the most part, unless you want to take it to one of our elevators. Spring wheat, again, we do a lot of spring wheat. Probably 13 protein milling wheat's probably going to bring you $22 in your yard right now. A lot of protein out there this year, so we will have some caps on protein, but that's been nice to see. I mean, a lot of guys don't have bushels, but at least the quality's there, so that's a good thing. Feed wheat, as Ben was talking about, feed is feed wheat, feed barley. We do a lot of feed as well. A little bit subject to location and end users. We had one of our large feed wheat customers yesterday told Wade that they're going to be switching their wheat ration to corn coming up out of the States because the feed wheat price has gotten too high, and it's been harder to find, of course. So that's a little bit subject to on a case-by-case basis. Durum. It's kind of crazy with durum being a crop grown in the south, in the driest areas of Saskatchewan. You would think that the durum market would be right through the roof. We've kind of found it hard to trade, I guess, considered against, putting it up against wheat and other things. So we're working on a couple different markets here for durum. And if you do have some durum, just give us a shout and we'll see what we can come up with for prices for you. Soft white wheat, we've been running $17.50. Looking forward, it might be $18 here into the new year. It's kind of the indication. Fall rye, if you've got some nice quality rye, which seemed like there was some rye around this year. It was nice to see that being a crop that was seeded last fall, it had a little better chance through the drought. Indicating $12 a bushel on rye, milling rye, that is. Malt barley, we're a small program going again on malt. Give us a call, send us some samples, and we'll get you some prices on that. It will depend a little bit on whether it's new crop or old crop and protein levels and such. Getting into brown flax, good quality flax, you're looking at north of 60, like the old CBC TV show. It's strong, it's exciting for flax growers. We still have to do the quality tests, as Ken mentioned, the same kind of thing. We got to get things checked for oil, and some of our customers do taste testing and such. So it does take a little bit of time, but if you bear with us, we'll try to get you the best price we can. And then the golden flax, the old unicorn crop there, if you do have some, give us a call. I don't know what the price is, but we'll figure something out. It's not quite like the 649, but we'll see. And then feed flax as well. We do use feed flax, so be sure to show us if you do have some lower quality or some old bin butts kicking around from previous years. Yellow peas, right in the same kind of market as everybody's talking. We're probably 21.5 in your yard or thereabouts, depending where you're at. And feed peas, again, that's a little more freight sensitive, being that the feed situation is a little different games right now. So we buy a lot of mustard. Or we try to buy a lot of mustard. We typically buy a lot of mustard. Of course, with the drought, some of the mustard crops have been reduced. Some of the new crops were almost non-existent. But if you have mustard, please give us a call, yellow, brown, Oriental, and we'll do our best for you. It'll be, north of $1, as everybody's saying. Lentils, we do a lot of pulses too, a lot of organic lentils, large greens, French greens, blacks, feed lentils, a few red lentils, but that's a little different market. Strong pricing on lentils as well. Screenings, 160, 180 in your yard plus, depending on the food value that's in them. If they're straight weeds or if they've got some grain in them, it'll depend. And we do some organic chickpeas on a per sample basis as well. So. It's quite a list there, but we've got Wade Harris and Tracy Sundquist, and we've got a new buyer in Alberta Terrell, he'll be doing some buying out of Alberta for us as well. So yeah, exciting times. I guess it's nice to see things go in the right direction. So give us a shout, and we've seen a lot of samples coming in. Don't be afraid to send them in. I think the people that get their samples in off the bat are going to probably realize the best prices. These are strong prices. Some buyers have indicated that they think the market's still going higher. I wouldn't dispute that, but there will be a tipping point as well. So if we have your samples, we can have the conversation. So I think that's what I have.
That's perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much, Bill. So again, I'll say there's no questions, and some will come in. But yeah, you do. Sunrise definitely buys a variety of crops. So yeah, there's a lot of options for farmers there, which is great. So and thank you, and I was going to say this to both you and Laura, who is coming up next from Grain Millers, our second and last presenters in a line of 13. I appreciate you hanging on to the end and for your presentation. And just I didn't say it at the beginning of the call, but we did have over 100 register, and at our high point we were at 95 signed on today. So definitely interest this year, for obvious reasons, as we've been going through today in the call. So, and I get just another question about cleaning for flax in particular. Do you have do you have cleaners that you use? Do you clean it? How does that work?
Yeah, we actually do. We have Murray at Lep Seeds does a majority of our cleaning for us. We have contracts through him, and it's no secret he does a great job. And we have his facilities, approved for our end users, and so that's where a lot of it goes through. And then we run a lot of our product down through Richardson in Gravelburg, and we do some product through Gerald at Laurent Seeds, and we do some other spot business elsewhere too. But we try to kind of spread it around, and it seems to work out pretty good for everybody. They do a great job for us. And
yeah. Okay, no, that's great, because the one thing I know about flax is that the cleaning can be tricky. So having a trusted cleaner is super important, and that you're working with farmers on that is great, because a few buyers have talked about just that whole surprise element, and so cleaning can be one of those things that can be a surprise. So yeah, so that's great to hear. So thank you again, Bill. I think we'll move on to Laura at Grain Millers. Thank you so much for being here, Laura. Thanks. Last but certainly not least, so the floor is yours.
Oh, Laura, we aren't able to hear you, and I can't seem to turn your mic on. Can you turn it on for us?
It keeps showing green, at least on the screen, and then it goes off. Oh no. All right, well, looks like Laura is sorting out her microphone here. So we'll just wait a few seconds while she's doing that. And maybe, do you want to speak now? No, we can't hear you.
Laura, maybe try just turning your microphone icon on and off, and try turning your volume up. I'm not sure why it's not working. It was working this morning.
This is the technical glitch, like best laid plans and all of the testing, and sometimes computers just behave as computers do. So, and maybe what I'll do, Laura, while you're, do you want to try again? Just speak. Can we hear you? Oh, did your what? Wait, thank you for the problem solving from folks on the call. Did your headset time out? Thank you, Kara. No, no. So,
Oh, I think we're on.
yay! Excellent. Okay, awesome. Well, over to you, Laura.
All right. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. I'm Laura Weidbender from Grain Millers here in Yorkton. So if you guys aren't aware of who we are a organic and conventional oat milling company out in Yorkton. We're actually also the largest oat miller in the world. We also buy some flax in the Saskatchewan, and we have a mill in Iowa, which is our company started in the States there about 35 years ago. And we've been in Yorkton for just over 20 years now. So in the States, we do buy some organic wheat, barley, and rye as well into there. So I'll just touch on quality first, and then I'll get into markets and what we're looking for here. So quality this year was not as bad as we thought originally. The first set of samples we saw were very, very light, and we were kind of worried, but since then it's definitely been a lot better. Even though weights have been lower, things have been a bit thinner and just smaller growths in general, we've still been able to work with majority of the oat crop out there this year. So I do encourage you, even if you think that your oats is fairly light, still send samples in and we'll definitely take a look. Even if it's under 40 pounds, which is our usual minimum, there's definitely a chance that we can still work with it. So for prices this year, with production being down, prices have been strong. I'm not going to go into that too much. Lots of people have touched on that already. So it's been strong, organic and conventional. And I mean, I don't see anything slowing down anytime soon. So for prices right now for organic oats, we have limited tonnage available for $12 delivered into Yorkton here, with Mumm as soon as mid-November at the moment. We're also looking for organic gluten-free, which comes with a premium over our current organic spot price at that time. So all of our contracts are active God, and we do have a couple of trucking companies that we work with on a day-to-day basis, so we can offer competitive freight rates as well if you're looking for a picked up price. We also are looking for some flax here, $60 picked up for brown. And if you do have organic yellow, we're looking for that too. Bryce, our flax buyer, just asked that you give him a call. So you can get in touch with me and I can always get you in touch with Bryce as well if you're curious about that. Our new crop bids for oats, organic oats, will be out shortly. If you want to stay up to date on that, make sure you get a hold of me and I can get you on our market report email that comes out every other week. And then when you're in the market for a new crop, there'll be an email about that as well. So make sure to get a hold of me with that if you want to get on it. And otherwise, I'll just open it up to questions.
Thank you so much, Laura. And there are no questions at the moment, but I suspect I always like to just I'll give it a second or two just to see if anybody has any questions, but it looks like not. So thank you again, Laura, so much for hanging. Oh, sorry, somebody missed the oat price. So you were saying the oat prices at the moment for spot?
$12 delivered into Yorkton for the time being.
Okay,
yep.
Yeah, and then with room mid-November, you were
at the earliest.
At the earliest, yeah. Okay, and then expecting new crop prices fairly soon, and a suggestion to get in touch with Laura to get on their Grain Millers market report email so that you can stay up to date. Sorry, now the questions are coming in. Let's see. Oh, do you have any open contracts after the first 5 or 10 bushels for pricing? I guess maybe it's more a question about how you structure your contracts, like what's in a yeah, I think that would help.
So
Yeah.
for contract volumes, I mean, usually you're based on 42 tons, one super B load. However, we definitely are working with smaller lots and trying to get as much as we possibly can into here. Definitely know people in different areas that do have part loads. So make sure you guys contact us, even if you do have a little bit, send samples, and then we can always visit that and see what we can do.
Okay, and then, and this is just, you know, one of the earlier buyers, I believe it was Avina Foods, was talking about, you know, their contract where they contract the first 5 to 10 bushels. This is in with peas, you know, and then they have the right of first refusal on the rest. So are you, you know, your production contracts, are they for full production, or, you know, do you have a similar, you know?
So we do offer full production contracts, or tonnage base, whichever you prefer, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
And sorry, we also do contracts on subject to sample too. So if you like the price and you like the movement, we can make a contract, and if for some reason your sample doesn't pass our milling quality, we can cancel it or stuff like that. So
yeah. Okay. No, that's perfect. Thank you so much, Laura. And thank you to everyone. I'm going to wrap it up now because we're at 11:10, so we're 10 minutes over time. Really appreciate everyone, pretty much everyone staying on the call to the end, and we'll just move quickly into, oh, sorry. So GSL Grains, we were also expecting to be on the call today, but unfortunately, they were in touch and said their representative was not able to attend today. So if you're interested to learn more from them, you know, please get in touch directly with the email that is on the screen now. And again, thank you to all of our sponsors. We really can't do what we do without you. And also thank you to everybody who attended today. You know, our organic farmers are incredibly supportive of Sask Organics as well, and we can't do without you either. And we're here to serve. So you know, if you have any questions about the sector or the webinar today, please don't hesitate to email or give us a call. And we do have a webinar planned for November the 2nd on grain storage and cleaning. So that may be of interest to you, we hope, and you can get more information about that on our website in the events tab. And then just a reminder that if you've missed any of our past webinars, they are available for purchase on our website as well. And we're super excited to have the Abundance Box 2021. We're just starting to market that now, and we have some really great Saskatchewan organic and local companies who are a part of the project again this year. So excited by that. And if you're interested in purchasing that, it is available on our website as well. And thank you. And there will be a short survey that will pop up as you come off the webinar, and we would appreciate you taking a moment or two to fill that out, because it matters. Your comments matter and help us improve webinars for the future. And that's it for this morning. Thank you all again for being here, and for the buyers for contributing. And we will see you at our next webinar. Have a great day.